Joining me now is the author of international bestsellers, The Madness of Crowds, The Strange Death of Europe, and his latest work, The War on the West, Douglas Murray. Let's start with this shocking footage from the UK where an autistic 16-year-old girl was arrested, dragged away by half a dozen West Yorkshire police officers because she said a female officer looked like her lesbian nana. Her mother desperately tries to intervene, but to no avail. The terrified girl was dragged away and served with a homophobic public order offence. Let's have a look.
She's autistic! I don't care. She's autistic, I know you're okay. I'm telling you, I've got Eunice coming, she's going to be arrested tonight. Bitch, what me if I get police on me? Calm down. She's autistic. Can you stop staring at her, please? She's got autism. Can you just stand there? She's in a cupboard. She can't go anywhere. She can't go anywhere. Then she said the word lesbian. Her nana is a lesbian. She's married to a woman. She's not homophobic. Look what you're clenching your fist. Go away from my teenage daughter.
What is up with you?
There is something wrong with you, mate.
Does it come to right under there?
She's autistic. She don't like people touching her. She will have a meltdown.
What's your name?
She won't come out. She's got autism. I'm Lisa.
So she can come out. Because we're trying not to do this, aren't we? We've been trying for a long time.
But she hasn't done nothing wrong.
Douglas, this is just appalling conduct by the police. That poor girl was so distressed at one point, she was hitting herself in the head, hiding in the cupboard. What were they thinking, having 7 officers drag her away in that manner?
What were they thinking? What are their priorities? And what on earth is the guidance from the top of the police that would even suggest that this was suitable behaviour from police officers? I mean, the girl in question, as you've just said that the police officer looked like her nana, her grandmother, who apparently is a lesbian. So you would have thought from that they could work out that this wasn't even the offence that they claimed it was. Secondly, you might have thought they might have had some perspective on the idea that of all of the crimes and unsolved actual incidents that occur in a country like Britain, this might not be the priority for more than half a dozen officers. And then you might have thought they'd have the human empathy to just notice that they shouldn't mistreat this young woman in this way. But none of that seemed to have occurred to them, even as they were on camera. And you can see there at the end that deeply unpleasant, clearly, female officer, looking like she's triumphant. Well done her. Well done for intimidating and bullying this poor young girl who didn't do anything wrong. It's a classic example, and you and I have talked about this before, of police forces that are able to police everything except crime.
Well, you make an excellent point there, because while the police take this hardline response to an autistic 16-year-old girl for the hate crime of noticing a police officer look like a lesbian grandmother, they are utterly hopeless in solving real crimes. Remember this report from back in June this year revealing police had failed to solve a single burglary in half of the neighbourhoods across England and Wales in the last 3 years. I mean, that is a damning statistic right there. Unbelievable, exactly. As I say, I mean, they don't bother to come out for the actual crimes. I mean, I've always been very suspicious of this whole concept of hate crimes because, after all, you know, if somebody does have a crime against them because of their characteristic, who is to say that that's worse than, for instance, somebody who hits an old lady over the head because she's an old lady and vulnerable? Why isn't that a hate crime? Why don't, you know, there's a whole redefinition of what crime is that has just sort of seeped into all of our societies. And the result is actually the hate crime thing is seen by police forces like this as the real criminality. They should police our thoughts and our Twitter feeds and much more, whilst these actual crimes like burglary, as you say, go not just unsolved, but uninvestigated, Rita. And I just think that this is obviously an issue for the individual police officers, but most of all, I blame the people at the top of the police force. In Britain, as in Australia and other countries, increasingly the people who get to these positions of police commissioners are highly political actors. They do what they think the politicians would like them to do. And for that, a conservative government like that in Britain also has to take responsibility. This happened on their watch after 13 years.